Hello, this is Koji from Celestial Rhythms again, and it's getting really interesting. Tomorrow, July the 22nd, and early morning, July 23rd, Universal Time, this comet NEOWISE it will be closest to Earth. That is exciting. I hope you had a chance to see it. I sadly haven't seen it yet because we had clouds in the western sky for the whole 10-15 days since it's been really visible, so I'm looking still forward to that. And so yeah, this is a great shot here, and there's another beautiful shot. Actually, there is this space weather gallery. If you go to spaceweather.com, there's a whole gallery, and you can also send in your shots if you have a good one. It will be published. That's really another really nice one. So this has been a spectacular show. There's many good photographs on the internet. So this is, let's just go into the astrology now, which I want to talk about a bit today here of this comet and that exciting time and what that all means, what we can expect. There's a few very clear hints of where this all is going. This is a wild card which has been thrown in, an additional energy into the mix, and there is clear indications that it's about disclosure and about getting the people mobilized to fight for the children and for the revelations of all that darkness which we are just about to really get into. It's about working together as a community, as a one people. Juno has been really powerfully placed in this discovery chart. Actually, in the heliocentric, it was 1233 Libra. We have that powerful conjunction of Chiron, the black moon and sun here up in the 9th house. I was talking about that in my other video. I don't want to go too deep. This is just the second frame of the discovery. Why I'm choosing that? Okay, I'll give you a little breakdown. When a new object is discovered, I mean, there is these programs and this satellite which has been taking pictures of that part of the sky on a kind of regular base, and then they do these pictures in a sequence of 2 to 4 hours, and then there is this computer program, and I'll show you this here. So this is from the discovery images, March 27, 2020, and that's the 3 first frames which were captured. This is 3 times the same object. This is that comet when it still was very far away. So what that computer program does, it overlays the 3 different or 2 different or however many frames, and then tracks is there anything which has changed position, and these objects will then be lit red by the computer program. So it is pretty obvious that we need a second frame to realize something new is there. The third then and so on are confirmations that yes, there is something. So it is always the second frame, in my opinion, which is the real discovery moment, because that's when it jumps to human consciousness. That's when one of the operators will see it. We'll say, oh hey, look here, there's something is going on here. We have just discovered something. You can't discover something from the first frame. That's my argument. Because the first frame, for those of you who are more familiar with that whole subject, you could also use recovery images. That's often done when then an object has been spotted. Then they go back to earlier frames of that same region in the sky, and often they find recovery images, which means images where all of a sudden we see something we haven't seen before, and it is connecting dots. It makes sense. which is used for the exact calculation of the orbit of these bodies. So what I want to say is the second frame is really what I think is the moment of discovery, and this is the chart I have printed here. And what is really powerful, I mentioned just Juno here, the other one which is dead on in this chart for Pasadena, California, where the operational center is for this satellite. It's a satellite which has discovered it, a satellite which uses infrared. It's called Near Earth Orbit Wide Infrared Surveyor, whatever equipment, something like that, which gives then that word NEOWISE, which, as I said and other people said that too, it is Neo new, or also that character in the Matrix movie which became wise after he took the red pill. So there's quite some implications there in that name itself. So watch this, I just show you a few things and then I show you other charts with that same degree. Here we have the midheaven, the consciousness axis, the crown of the tree, the apex of that energy where it all goes towards, in a way, its highest expression is in the 13th degree of Aries. Then furthermore, Mars is exactly on the American nation's Pluto, 2732 to be most exact. That's a July 4, 1776 chart. Pluto, as I say, exactly on the descendant by 4 minutes of arc. Ceres is rising, most exact, 2451. Now Ceres is an interesting body. It's a Centaur planet, and Ceres was married to Helion. They were a young couple, deep in love, very committed to one another. Then Helion got killed, his wife got killed on the battlefield, and Ceres, so much in love, so much committed to his beloved, killed himself on the spot, put the sword through his heart and followed her. So there's a deep commitment for truth. It's a sacrifice which is indicated here, a sacrifice for a greater good, for a greater reason. So in this chart already we see there's some deep transformation embedded, which demands a deep commitment for truth regardless of possible losses or challenges, difficulties. It is that love which pulls. Then what is further interesting in this chart is Ceres, the earth goddess, at 21 degrees Aquarius, and I will tell you why already now, because tomorrow when the NEOWISE will be closest to Earth, it will be at 21st in 21 degrees 03 Leo. So let's quickly look at this diagram which I printed, this one here. Okay, this gives you a bit of an overview of the comet's movement through the zodiac, through the western zodiac. So the direction it came in for thousands of years was in this area, just very, very little motion here, as it was far away, always more or less in the same spot. And by December 2018 it was here at 21st degree of Libra, and then made a little wave here back and then, or forward and then backwards to September 2019. Was still very far away, so little change in longitude. Then it turned direct again at the final degree of Virgo in September 2019, and through the year 2019 it appeared to move forward through the zodiac till February of this year. And since then it has been retrograde, and while it was retrograde on March 27, that's where it was discovered in the first degree of Leo. And it's kind of like a pendulum, and it's getting ready for a big swing in the opposite direction here, and it reached that 0 point in the 29th degree of Gemini late June, early July, and reached the closest point to the Sun here on July the 3rd, which was right in sync with a whole bunch of other powerful alignments. I just made a little note here. That was not only the American nation's birth day, the 244th birthday of the nation. Also, July 4 is the day when every year the Sun is farthest away from us, or in other words, when Earth is farthest away on its journey around the Sun, which is called the Perihelion, a very powerful moment of reset. Also, we had a lunar eclipse and a full moon on the 4th, 5th of July, and there was a very exact Jupiter-Pallas conjunction. Let me just quickly go back to that to show you that is Jupiter and Pallas. You see just a day earlier. No, I'm here in the wrong chart, but it's interesting that in the March discovery chart already we had that close Jupiter, Pallas, Pluto conjunction. And now as we go to the Perihelion chart, you see again the same arrangement. Jupiter, now this time they're retrograde, and Pallas is going to be exactly on Jupiter, actually on July 4, just 1 day after Perihelion, but it's again that same configuration of energies. Pallas is intelligence, it's the ability to put data into a sequence, into a grid, and understand the connections and see the patterns. Jupiter naturally is expansion and growth, and also the spiritual component of wisdom comes in with Jupiter. In that hexagram 61, that whole group, Pluto, Saturn had their meeting in that hexagram 261, inner truth, which is how the zodiac overlays with the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. If you have a question about that, this goes back to the human design system, which is a powerful channeling of the connection of the different systems. It's part of the foundation of that system, how the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching overlap with the zodiac. It's an amazing additional layer to astrology when we start using that. So 61 inner truth, it's when we really zoom in on what matters. That is happening in 2020 for sure, and beyond that, as these are many alignments which were planting seeds, beginning of new big cycles. So Jupiter and Pallas is one of these cycles, and as I said, there is this powerful repetition in the discovery chart. We have that's always when we have repetitions, that is something to focus on, because we need multiple confirmations to get a clear manifestation. So this is then the Perihelion chart for July 3rd of NEOWISE. That means when it was closest to the Sun, and this is the moment as it was experienced in Washington DC. What stands out here is the cardinal cross. I mentioned that in my other broadcast too. This is the American nation's midheaven, 2 degrees Libra, the midnight point, and this is standing exactly vertical to it. This shows that it is bring the nation into a new focus. It's kind of almost a re-beginning, a new beginning, which is indicated here, of the whole setup of everything. So NEOWISE really is stirring the pot, it seems, in many ways. Also, naturally, the Sun was very close to where it is in the American chart, just 1 degree off. Then this is another additional shift which happened on July 4. That was Juno, the asteroid of partnership, of teamwork, changed hexagrams, crossed the line of 9 degrees 30 Libra, and that was the moment. And you see again there's a 0 degree Aquarius ascendant. We had so many charts with that 0 degree Aquarius Leo. That's where Jupiter and Saturn will meet in December 2020, which is the 2 giant planets. It's kind of the finishing move of a whole bunch of preparations, of getting everything in place for the fundamental framework for the new age, if you want, at least for the next 20 years. That's how big the cycles are between Jupiter and Saturn. It takes 20 years for the 2 planets to again come back to the same place in the zodiac. So hexagram 48, right? I should say quickly something about that. That is the well, the water well, the fountain of where we find the juices of life, where the new powers which will fertilize what's coming are drawn from. So this period between July 4th and the end of July, that's how long Juno is in here, is a time of rejuvenation, in a way, of getting fresh and new resources, new reasons to work together and to bond. Many pillars are needed to hold a big roof. That's the basic idea of Juno. Also, okay, now let's jump to later today. Actually, it is early morning, Washington time, 22nd of July. When the Sun is entering Leo. That's always a big moment when the Sun is changing signs in the tropical zodiac, when it comes into a different segment of Earth's aura. So the tropical zodiac, these 12 astrological signs, are just carrying the names of the constellations. They're not really in sync with the constellations. It's just it's 2 different, totally different things of the same name, which is often confusing. I have said things about that before. Don't want to go too deep into this, but the Western zodiac, the tropical zodiac, is defined by the solstice and the equinox points, which are the moments, the exact mathematical points where the sun either stands vertical above the equator, which are the equinoxes, or highest in zenith or lowest in zenith at summer solstice, winter solstice, which give the 4 anchoring points, the suspension points, if you want, of the whole framework we perceive the whole universe through. So it's basically the medicine wheel. So what I say here, the sun shifts into a new segment, the second summer sign, summer month, Leo. Sun is ruling in the sign of Leo, so it's the sun's own sign, and the moon is at 2106 Leo when the sun enters that sign. So why is this important? Because that's exactly where Comet NEOWISE will be less than a day later, when it is closest to Earth. So there's a connection there. And then there's THEREUS. THEREUS is another Centaur planet, and THEREUS is said to have the power of a bear, and it's the mother bear's energy to protect its cubs. It's that female ferocity to protect children. So that's why I'm so convinced that this is the main message this comet gives us. It's really opening this whole agenda to the public and get everyone on board to fight for the children, to understand that we are battling a satanic pedophile network here on this planet of unexpected proportions, and it will be very difficult, but it's necessary, and we are ready. There's many signs, and this is probably the strongest and the most recent one, this comet. Now THEREUS, I looked at its discovery chart, and I just want to quickly go here and show you the synchronicities here again. So that was in August 2001 and was discovered on Palomar Mountain with the telescope there. Again, it's the third frame this time I'm using, because the first and the second were very close to each other. It needs usually about a spacing of 2 to 4 hours to see a change in position, to have these red dots jump up in the computer program. So what stands out here is the Sun in Leo, Mercury at 21 degrees Leo, that's where the comet will be tomorrow. We have Mars in an exact trine, fire, at the descendant, which again is that engagement, that standing up for someone who needs protection. And I want to point out the moon's position, 1247 Aries, which is Mars sign. Now I just quickly want to go back to this chart here. That's the discovery chart of NEOWISE, and you see 12 degrees 34. So there's a connection there, and if we look where THEREUS is in this chart, it's at 17 Leo, and look at where the Sun is when THEREUS was discovered, at 1649 Leo. Furthermore, this is the ascendant 17 Gemini, and now look where Venus is when the comet is closest to Earth. That is this chart here. No, okay. Okay, I'm getting there. So many charts here. Where do I have it? Okay. I guess I didn't open it. Let me just see. No, I didn't open it. I wanted to show you the exact moment when it's closest to Earth. Just bear with me one sec. That is this one. Right, that is this one. Okay, that is the moment when the comet is closest to Earth. That is tomorrow evening, 9:15 Washington time. Again, the comet will be here at 21 degrees Leo, and that's where THEREUS is. And Venus at 17 degrees Gemini. Now just let's go back to this chart. That's where the ascendant is, or was, when THEREUS was discovered. So there's a whole bunch of things going on here which resonates. Also, something which stands out is this 28th degree of Aquarius. That's where we just 2 days ago, a few hours prior to the Cancer new moon, when moon and sun met here at the 29th degree of Cancer. I also made a little podcast about that video. So prior to that, we had a heliocentric Mars-Venus-Ceres conjunction in this degree, 28 degree Aquarius, and that's also where the moon is in the American Nations chart. There's a whole bunch of stuff here again going on, which basically says it's a recreation, a new opening, a new window, a new venue, a new direction of evolution is just initiated here. And that THEREUS energy of that mother bear protecting the children and its offspring, that is very prominently linking into this. So again, this is the chart when the sun enters Leo, which is just within a few hours from when I do this recording. This is for Washington. Shows pretty much what these coming 30 days will be in terms of solar energy, how this sun in Leo will manifest itself over this 4 week period. Okay, stumbling here. So what stands out is Mercury at the ascendant, which is triggering a thinking process, a re-evaluation of reality. We have to really readjust our vision, our focus, what is important really here and what is just noise. The American nation sun is here, 13 degrees 19 in Cancer. Hygeia we find here. Hygeia, the asteroid of health, well-being. So there's a healing going on with the nation. It's not yet fully visible. Naturally, we go through all that conflict which has been intentionally thrown our way for distraction purpose, and which is also showing up here in this Mars perfectly T-squaring the American nation's sun and the ascendant descendant and Juno. So the main theme is struggle, biting through obstacles. That's this section of the zodiac, hexagram 21, biting through, where Mars is in still for a few more days. Also very prominent here still the black moon, which is in this hexagram, which is 51, which is the shock thunder, which is between 15 degrees 07 and 30 seconds to be exact, and 20 degrees 45. So I already pointed that out weeks ago, that between June 10th and the end of July, that is the window when the black moon expresses itself through shock, thunder, surprise, the unexpected. And I guess that's what we are pretty much seeing happening. So before the end of the month, we still see quite a bit of craziness on all levels, and probably also in that sense there will be events likely in the next 2-3 days. That's what it all points toward. As we go here a bit further, I'll show you why. So this is the midpoint chart of the American nations astrology with the Sun Leo ingress of later today. Interesting, the galactic center here is right up at midheaven. Always when the galactic center comes in, that is a confirmation something big is in its making. 0 degrees Gemini moon opposing Uranus. That is saying the same thing. It's being aroused, estranged, surprised, upset, triggered. So this is the nation's Uranus sign. Uranus is at 8 degrees. So the moon is approaching that Uranus in the midpoint. So this is another one I discovered, which is happening also then on the 23rd, just one day after. That's Chariklo Haumea square, heliocentrically. Chariklo is the midwife. Haumea is a creation force named after a Hawaiian goddess of creation, created through fire. It's an energy which remodels our reality. And this is a long cycle. I guess it's a multi-century cycle, these two together. And when that will be exact, I should say, in Greenwich, that's the global chart, we have Jupiter exactly rising. I found that pretty exquisite again. Jupiter this time in opposition with Vesta. Vesta is the holy focus of what's important, of sacrifice, too similar to what we mentioned with which was the other one. The one I was mentioning was THEREUS, which is actually opposing the American nations, Pluto, and also very close to the Saturn opposition. So there's multiple celestial bodies saying something similar. That's always very interesting too, because again it's a confirmation on many levels. So however, I want to just quickly go on the 24th. That comet moves very fast now. Let me just go back to this picture here which I have drawn. So as the comet will be closest to Earth at Perigee, that is the astronomical term for closest to Earth. it is here at 21 degrees Leo, and then within a couple days or even less, it is going really fast now, entering Virgo. Within 7 days it cruises through the sign Virgo. Then by the end of August it is up here already in Scorpio. By the 1st of September, 1st of October here, November, December, January, and by the end of January it's pretty much come to that place where it slowly spirals out of the solar system around the degree here, about around 11 degrees Sagittarius. So it came in around 21 Libra, makes this kind of a movement, pulls in its energy, builds it up over here to the perihelion, and then releases it like a slingshot, and boosting evolution in a new direction. And as it's just here now closest to Earth, we get to feel its full impact from now on forward for the next 2 months roughly, certainly very strongly, most strongly in this Leo phase, which lasts just a couple more days till the end of the 24th, then for 1 week in Virgo. Now let me just go back here to the astrology. So this is the moment when, globally seen from Greenwich, the comet changes into Virgo, and it will be pretty much exactly at the ascendant. That is also where the bright star Regulus is, at 0 degrees Virgo. By the way, also President Trump's ascendant is here. Regulus is a powerful vortex in space, very similar to Jupiter in its energetic signature, spinning almost as fast that it would fly apart. It's an ellipsoid. It's much wider at its equatorial diameter than at its polar, about 1/3 more, because it spins so fast. If it would spin 10% faster, it would fly apart. And Regulus is the brightest star in the constellation of Leo, also called Alpha Leonis, or the eye of the lion, or now the heart of the lion, sorry about that, the heart of the lion, the lion's heart. It's the courage which is hiding in there. So whenever that point is activated, that speaks of someone who's living that courage, that being that going into new territory and holding the torch and pretty much initiating evolution to move faster. Regulus, that was one of the big shifts in the 2012 era, actually in November 2011. Regulus shifted into Virgo. That's because of the slow precession of the equinoxes, where the whole grid, we are perceiving the universe through, as I mentioned earlier, those 4 suspension points. Because of that move, the shift, that slow wobble of the Earth's axis, which wobbles once around itself in 26,000 years, because of that, Regulus changed signs. That's a slow retrograde motion. So all the stars, in that sense, over long periods of time, move forward through the tropical zodiac in that sense. And when a major star changes signs, that is a big moment, particularly if it's one which is that close to the sun's parent path, the ecliptic. Regulus is the brightest star, so close to the ecliptic, that makes it even more special. So anyway, just want to say this is the 24th of July, and the moon at that time is at 19 degrees Virgo. That's where the American nation's black moon is, at 1928. And just hours later, this is the same chart for Washington, and again you have the 21st degree here of Gemini. That's where Mars is in the American chart. So there Mars is activated, and the moon, the 27th, 28th degree of Aquarius, and that's also where we had that Venus-Mars Ceres conjunction heliocentrically on the 20th of July, just 4 days ago. So Moon and Mars, that also speaks of the power of the populace, the people standing up and uniting, and so it is really that war which was hidden for many months, years, decades, is now boiling into the open. Everybody is ready to and able to see it, because the dark forces are panicking. I mean, they know if Trump gets re-elected, and they try everything to prevent that. If that happens, they are definitely done. That is the finish line, and they will do anything and everything to prevent that from happening. That's why I just saw it today. It's 105 days away from today, July the 21st. So we have just to keep up with that and bite through this crazy period where the war really comes fully into the open, and do what we have to do. Be courageous, share what we know, and help other people understanding too what is going on, to take them away from that decepting paradigm which is spun around everybody's mind, which won't change so fast. As you see here again is Neptune. Neptune is really strongly positioned here up high in the sky, so there will be quite some confusion still going on for quite a while. We cannot change that, but it is encouraging, because on that same day, on the 24th, there's also Pallas and Arrokoth in conjunction, and that is for Washington, and we have again the black moon here exactly at the 4th house cusp together with the moon. So think after the 24th of July, that week into the end of the month will be epic. There will be just such a flood of information, of proof, of difficult truths which cannot be negated by the mainstream anymore. So it will be definitely throwing wild waves, and yeah, again, it's most exciting times, and I guess this chart is the midpoint of that Pallas Arrokoth. Now, Pallas Arrokoth, I should say, Pallas again is the asteroid of science, art, the ability to see patterns and analyze what is going on. Arrokoth, that newcomer representing the sky, or the human being standing under the open sky, seeing the whole firmament, being able to put everything into its place, seeing how the puzzle comes together, all the many pieces. So the long and short, this is the most exciting time we're in, and it's just important that we keep focus, we keep holding the ground, and help as many people as possible to find their way out of that maze to a clear place. And yeah, so enjoy the ride. It will be a wild one, but it's worth it, absolutely worth it. Whatever will come will be so much better, as President Trump repeatedly has said. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much for joining again and listening, and if you liked what you heard, consider giving it a like. Okay, have a lovely day, a lovely night. Thank you. Take care. Love you all.